Keith, because an exclusive today, before we come on live on Record Sport Online, regards Nico Raskin and potential interest from down south.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear Burnsy's point of view on this. I've written a story, which is, as you said, just gone up online just now. Wolves are ready to enter the bidding if Rangers decide that they want to take the option on of selling Raskin this summer. Obviously, I think there's talks about trying to get him tied up on an extended contract, which I think would probably be Russell Martin's first choice. But if he doesn't sign a new contract, he's got 2 years left. So this feels like an optimum moment. Now, the story that I've written, Daniel, just actually, it shows that Wolves have been in and around Raskin's camp for about 18 months now. He has known about the interest, and I think, I know that his preferred destination, if he does leave Rangers this summer, would be the English Premier League. Wolves are obviously invested quite a lot of time. They've been monitoring. There's been a change of leadership structure at Wolves this summer. But the former Everton defender, Matty Jackson, has basically been promoted to head of recruitment. And he has been aware of the sort of Raskin situation. He's been one of the guys that was monitoring previously. So Raskin is very much a live issue at Wolves if it gets to the point, if it becomes clear that Rangers are ready to sell. Obviously, Aston Villa, I think, are sniffing around the picture as well. I don't think Wolves would just sit back and let a City rival get in front of them on this one. So, but as I said, first and foremost, Rangers need to make this decision over Raskin's future, or he needs to decide if he wants to extend his contract. Burnsy, what have you, does that tie in with what you hear? Have you been aware of this sort of long-running interest from Wolves?
Yeah, they certainly were. And that runs past, as you say, the former sporting director into the current regime. It's, as you say, it's certainly, you said 18 months. It's certainly been a good few months that they've been watching Nico Raskin. And obviously it helps with him breaking into the Belgium squad, you know what I mean? That also, and that puts his value up. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but when you say it's up to Nico Raskin, I suspect if a bid comes in from a top club in a top league, he will want to go. I think it's more about people hitting the figures that Rangers are looking for, where they can reinvest, and maybe if they could sell him for a decent price and bring in 2 or 3 quality players, then that would probably make sense as it stands for Russell Martin to really kick off his revolution sort of thing.
What sort of price do you think Rangers can fetch for him if they do sell this summer, Scott?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I could be wrong, but I was on holiday last week. But I genuinely don't know. I think 10 to 12 million. I know people are talking a lot higher. I think what goes against him is his physicality. I think that will put a lot of the bigger clubs off. But that is still, if you were getting to those sort of levels, then I think that's a decent return, you know what I mean? But I see somebody Sleekit has said Rangers going to get 2 to 3 million maximum from for Raskin. From a Celtic persuasion.
That's followed up by London Lad in the comments who says 30 million. So there you go. Right, both ends of the spectrum.
Well, at least I've gone somewhere in between.
We've actually got plenty of comments on this story already, Keith, if I'll run through a couple of them.
Yeah.
John says, if Rangers seriously consider selling Raskin in this window, has to be for silly money, 20 million minimum. Raymond says, if Wolves or Aston Villa seriously offer anything in the region of 15 million for Raskin, they should take the money and run. Michelle says, selling Raskin would be a massive blow to Martin. The team should be built around him.
Listen, I don't have any doubt about that, and I'm sure that Russell Martin wants to keep Nico Raskin at the club. But it's he might be a bit of a hostage to fate here, the manager, because these things, once they get a bit of momentum, Scott's absolutely right. Nico Raskin has got ambitions to play in the English Premier League, to be perfectly frank, and you just wonder if this feels like the right time. There will be a counter argument, I'm sure, that Russell Martin is putting it forward to the Rangers board right now, which is keep him for another season, try and extend his contract, keep him for another season, let him go to the World Cup with Belgium, and then cash in. And you could see the sense in that, because at that point, 15 million could become 20 or 25. But I think Burnsy's probably spot on in his assessment. I think somewhere in the region between 10 and 15 million pounds is achievable this summer. And if Raskin's not going to commit, then Rangers really have to do the business, because they've kind of allowed themselves to get caught in these situations previously where guys run down the contract, and players that you think are financial assets have been allowed to leave for nothing. That can't happen again. Mm-hmm. So it is decision time one way or the other. And if it is decided that now's the time to invite bids, then I would expect that Wolves will be pretty near the front of that queue.